Hello everyone, my name is Nabil, and this is Emergent Futures. At the start of the term, we were looking at transects at the global scale, comparing and contrasting Winnipeg to the world. Afterwards, we looked at Winnipeg in greater detail, and I looked into the life, death, and limbo of vegetation and wildlife within the city. We then had to critique, describe, and imagine Winnipeg, and seeing the city so fragmented and fractaled, it really struck out to me, so this idea continued forth. When we were choosing our transect, we had to look at our context 5 kilometers outside of the perimeter. It just so happens that La Berriere Park is located right there, and I thought that a transect as a whole should read together from start to finish. Journeying through my transect, I collected soil samples in order to paint my experiences moving through it. I also recorded the sounds of the transect and overlaid their notes to the Mandelbrot set to visualize the sound. The Mandelbrot set is an example of a fractal in mathematics. The edges are a set of self-similarities, but are not without their own deformities continuing onto infinity. And so I transposed the transect with the different auditory conditions. The intention of the transect is to create a journey through the process of learning. I thought it was a nice parallel to COVID. A time where we were blissfully ignorant, a time where we were put to a test, and a time where we don't even know will come. The intention of the route is to connect the emotions and feelings. The intentions of the Paradise Gardens are to entice, reflect, and wander. The Loud Garden is located between a group of baseball diamonds and a golf course. The intention of the garden is to have people leave it, to entice visitors to baseball or golf games that may be going on. And like learning, something has to grab your attention first. Large metal structures are placed throughout the garden to bounce and divert the sounds throughout the space, grabbing people's attention. When there are no games, the shimmering of the trembling aspen, the open meadow, and wildlife will be the loud paradise. The Quiet Garden is located next to a rapid transit stop next to Pembina Highway behind Long and McQuaid. It is a small hub point that is accessible with transit and active transportation. The intention of this garden is to heal, rest, and reflect before going on to your next destination. The main plants of the garden are the 4 native plants that were used by the people of Treaty 1 in everyday life and ceremonies, mixed in with an assortment of other flowers. Unlike the other gardens, this one is not directly on the route. And like learning, you have the choice to have a second to sit with yourself or let it go into one ear and out the other. The waterfall will drown out all the external sounds so you can reflect in the quiet paradise. The vast garden is located north of the city, next to Emmettsville and West St. Paul. The intention of this garden is to explore the vastness of the prairies, to wander. This garden can be an act of reconciliation with the people of Treaty 1. The people from the nearby reserves can work to educate the people of the Great Plains of its history, ecology, and cultural significance. This is a paradise for both bison and people. This is a site study on aerial view, during a time where enough water has accumulated to be seen from the sky. I originally thought that the site was flat, as it seemed like any old agricultural land, but clearly there are areas that are more depressed or elevated than others. I was wondering what opportunities can arise from where the water collects. That is how I determined the layout and the functions of the space. The garden is laid out into 2 portions, Bison Paradise and Vast Paradise. The Bison Paradise takes up more than 2/3 of the site and will be covered with prairie grasses for the bisons to graze. It's large enough that the bisons can quote-unquote migrate to the north and south portions of the enclosure. 2 roofs and arboretums are there for shade or shelter in the winter, and these are also anchor points for the people to view in the Vast Paradise. The Vast Paradise is separated from the Bison Paradise by a haha, planted with hawthorns and milkweed to deter the bison from getting too close to the edge. The decision for a haha instead of a raised wall, fence, or moat is to have people experience seeing the bisons on the same level, to show that people that these are titans of the plains and that they are beautiful yet dangerous animals. The Vast Paradise has many areas to explore, as there are quite a few environments that can be experienced in the Great Plains. The Welcome Center introduces the site to everyone, and this is where you can pick to go on a tour or go through and explore the garden on your own. The Wallow is an open clearing in front of the Welcome Center where the tour begins and is also a gathering space. There are many destinations that can be reached when going onto the boardwalk, such as a forest wanderer, prairie seeker, and wetland farer. These are just some of the environments that can occupy the Great Plains. And like learning, you have the choice to do what you want with the newfound knowledge. You have the choice to explore the different areas in the vast paradise. Thank you.